A lot's been happening since 2023 started, and so much of it has been bad. I'm Kyle Magnant for UH News. In Florida, the long-running battle between the state government and education has had some recent developments. For those who weren't aware, on January 12th, Florida's Department of Education sent a letter to College Board informing them that the class AP African American Studies would not be included in the state's course directory, claiming that the course violates Florida law and, quote, significantly lacks educational value, end quote. The letter fails to cite any specific law being broken by the course, but this isn't the first time DeSantis' government has tried to restrict what can be taught in Florida schools. Last year, he signed the Stop Woke Act, which restricted how various forms of racism, among other aspects of history, are taught, prohibiting instruction that could make students feel responsibility for or guilt about the past actions of other members of their race. Florida laws like this and the infamous Don't Say Gay bill are both examples of loosely defined pieces of regulation that can be used by people like DeSantis to keep aspects of history that frighten their base from being taught in schools while giving them plausible deniability. College Board released a response letter on February 7th showing that they had already been in contact with DeSantis' government for months before the final course guidelines were released to the public and had reduced or outright removed most things the administration had taken issue with during development. Now, in a press conference held Monday, DeSantis has said the state will be looking to reevaluate their relationship with College Board as a whole. This carries with it the potential that Florida will stop offering their classes and using their products altogether, which could have major ramifications on Floridians seeking higher education. Additionally, two different but gruesome pieces of legislation are currently being considered in various state governments. In Massachusetts, Democrats have proposed Bill HD 3822, which would allow prisoners to donate organs and bone marrow in exchange for a reduced sentence time. It may be stopped by a federal law that bars the sale of human organs, which may come as a relief to those pushing against the proposal. The bill reads like something from a dystopian novel, said Kevin Ring, president of the criminal justice reform advocacy group Families Against Mandatory Minimums. Promoting organ donation is good. Reducing excessive prison terms is also good. Tying the two together is perverse. One sponsor of the bill, Democratic State Rep. Judith Garcia, sees it as a way of addressing unjust health inequities in the American prison system, stemming from the, quote, vicious cycle of unjust incarceration and over-policing of black and brown communities, end quote. However, many prison reform advocates think this is a wrong and unethical solution to a major societal problem. The other pieces of legislation receiving pushback come from Iowa and Minnesota and would each seek to relax or reverse child labor laws so employers can get closer to meeting apparent hiring needs. Rather than increasing things like wages and benefits, companies often opt for hiring workers that are younger and cheaper. Additionally, these bills would loosen workplace safety protections in some of the most dangerous workplaces in the country, including construction sites, meatpacking plants, and assembly lines. The Iowa bill would even shield businesses from civil liability if one of these child workers were to get sick, injured, or killed while on the job. Critics of these laws say that they harken back to the dangerous working conditions incentivized by early 1900s industrialization, with proponents arguing back, saying that it fills a need. And during difficult economic times, some families would need to get jobs for their children or work longer hours to make ends meet. Most of these claims from lawmakers are despite the fact that the U.S. unemployment rate is the lowest it's been in decades at 3.4%, and raising wages would fix many of the problems being floated. That's all we have for you today, Cougs. Hopefully this video was more informative than it was depressing. I've been your host, Kyle Magnant, and we'll see you next time on UH News.